happy Tuesday. It's so fun that we get to say hello to you every single day. Genuinely excited to vlog more often and make some new friends on here. So today is a very special day. We are doing our weekly nose to tail feast. So we talked a little bit about that in two videos back, our nose to tail feasting tradition. And so we're continuing that today. So that requires some prep work. So we're in our upstairs kitchen now, which is a little bit of a different tone of yellow. Okay. I convinced Ashley to allow us to bring our food up here so we didn't have to be in a dingy basement. So one item of the nose to tail feast is this beautiful brisket from our full cow that we picked up from our local farmer. So we're going to cook this low and slow at 300. We don't have any foil, so we are going to try wrapping it in some parchment paper. So we will see how this works. Boom. Again, Gus is just making sure everything's going according to plan. Good helper. And then low and slow at 300 for 6 hours. We'll come back and show you guys later. Boom. So other two elements we're having in our nose to tail feast is beef kidneys from White Oak Pastures and sweetbread from White Oak Pastures. We haven't had sweetbread in quite some time. Oh, come. So we mentioned the other day that we are trying to consume like a cup of bone broth every single day. So that pretty much works out to us making a bone broth batch every 3 days. So it's been 3 days since we made our last bone broth, and today I'm making it out of chicken and guinea fowl carcasses, so just a bunch of poultry carcasses. And these were actually, like, the birds were cooked, so we just saved all of the bones and carcasses, and then I added 5 chicken feeties, added some water, salt, and then covering so that to limit Cecilia's amount of burping. Good job. So excited to get that going. Before we eat, we'll be going to the gym per usual to get a lift in and getting some work done and other shenanigans. So we will check back in with you when we get there. Hope you have an excellent day until we talk. Out. It is so wonderful outside today, even with quite an ugly backdrop. It is a beautiful day. The chauffeur is driving us to the gym again. Today we have lower body lifts, so Operation Hot Dogs to Bratwurst. We've got some heavy squats, some glute and quad accessories. Let's get them bratwursts. I'm conquering the spirit, I'm busting through the ceiling. I'm want to clarify something for the programming. So we have on the program low bar and high bar squats, and this just refers to the position of the barbell on your back. So low bar, the bar is going to be a little bit further down on your back, and that's going to encourage you to use your posterior chain, so more of your glutes and hamstrings. And then high bar is a little bit higher on your back, and that's going to encourage you to use more of your quads, so more of a quad focused squat. So I'll have Sarah show those back positions with the barbell really quickly. All right, so Sarah, show a low bar squat. So the bar is almost resting on her rear delts right there. A little bit lower. Okay, now show the high bar. Now high bar, it's basically on top of your shoulders. So again, high bar is gonna make you hit your quads, and then low bar is gonna be more posterior chain. So today, we want you hitting low bar for that posterior chain work.
Even if we both break down tonight, and you say you hate me, and we go to bed angry. That's been our song, our jam. If you haven't listened to NF yet, it's a great artist to listen to when you're at the gym and you want to get deep down in your feels and channel that deep emotion to lift some heavy weight. So, yep. Anyway, so today we are talking about one of our favorite organ meats on Carnivore, and that is kidney. Honestly, a carnivore staple. Nutrient powerhouse right here. It's full of K2, folate, riboflavin, which are 3 nutrients that are really important in the methylation process. It's also got some vitamin C, which people always argue you don't get enough on carnivore. That's up for debate.
Plus,
lots of bad boys in here.
Well, it also has diamine oxidase, so DAO, and this is an enzyme in your body that is used to break down histamine. So histamine often gets like a negative light, but histamine itself is not a bad thing. It's important for many processes in your body. For example, your immune system releases histamine to help you break down and ward off pathogens. Some people, however, aren't that great at breaking down histamine. I go into this pretty in depth in a blog post, so you can check out our website and search histamine intolerance. But essentially, DAO, diamine oxidase, is an enzyme that helps your body break down that histamine. If your body has too high of histamine, you can see allergy-like symptoms. So if you are someone who has histamine intolerance, including kidney in your diet and getting that DAO is super, super important. Even if you don't have histamine intolerance issues like us, we like to include that DAO in our diet a few times a week to just make sure that we don't get too much histamine buildup.
Yeah, we actually like kidney so much now that I actually ask Ashley every single week to make me this stew that we'll be including in our nose to tail feast.
But kidney kind of has a weird smell.
Yeah.
And honestly, we tried it raw this past summer, and don't do that. It's not our favorite. Whereas we can eat raw frozen liver, kidney would not recommend trying it raw. So in this video, we're gonna share with you guys our favorite way, and we legitimately really enjoy eating kidney this way.
Some people have an issue with the smell of kidney too.
She's opening it up out of the package.
Some people think that it smells, it's got a little bit of a pea smell to it. That's not to deter you, that's just to forewarn you.
Yeah.
And honestly, if that's the case and smell is the problem for you, there are things you can do to mitigate that, such as like soaking in.
You can soak it in a acidic medium, so such as like lemon juice, white vinegar, apple cider vinegar overnight, and then or just a few hours. We're gonna just wash it off with water before we put it in the stew, so we'll show you guys. However, if you try this stew method and you still don't like liver or kidney, we encourage you so much to include kidney that would suggest trying Ancestral Supplements desiccated kidney pills. We take those with us when we travel, and if you want 10% off, use discount code Strong.Sistas. But let's go show you how we make this pumpkin stew.
So she's my little smarty pants, and I will include the link to her blog post about histamine in the description below if you're curious, and same with the methylation post that we wrote, which is on our blog. I'll include those in the description below.
Let's go make this stew. All right, so what you will need for the braised kidney stew is a full beef kidney, and we always suggest trying to source from a good farm such as White Oak Pastures or your local farmer. You will need about a tablespoon of butter. Here we're using our raw homemade butter that we made from raw cow's milk. Then we've got 1/4 of a teaspoon of rosemary, 1/4 of a teaspoon of thyme, and then 3 bay leaves. And these are the like more benign spices, so these are the leaf spices. Then we are going to use 1/2 teaspoon of salt, Redmond real salt. And then Over here we have some beef stock. So this is just water that was cooked with some beef bones. You can also use beef broth. And so you just need enough liquid, so stock or broth, to cover the kidney. So first step is going to be to rinse this under cold water. And you'll see on most kidneys that it has like some fat and connections right here, and you can totally leave that on because that's essentially beef suet. Suet is the fat surrounding the kidney, so any leftover fat here is just going to melt off in the stew and add some nice flavor. So don't need to worry about cutting that off.
If you were going to soak your kidney in an acidic medium to get rid of the smell, now would be the time.
Correct. You would just put that in right now. And then we're going to pat this dry and slice it up.
Here's the chopped up kidney. It ain't the prettiest thing in the world, but it works. So next step will be to melt the butter in any sort of hot pan. Okay, once the butter or ghee or whatever you're using is melted, you're gonna add the kidney in and you're gonna brown all sides as much as you can.
So it's about a minute or two, kind of just getting the kidney initially cooked. And the reason that we like to use butter is because it adds a really nice flavor to the stew, but you can totally use other fat sources.
Once you've lightly browned all sides of the kidney, you're going to add in the seasonings, whatever you choose to use, and some salt, of course.
We like to do half of a teaspoon.
We like to do half of a teaspoon.
Because we like things salty.
Because we like things salty.
Honestly, could probably do more.
Honestly, could probably do more.
For the bay leaves, it helps to like break them apart. So we like to chop them up a little bit.
You chop.
And then we will add the liquid to make sure that the kidney, you just want to basically just make sure that they're covered. So that's probably good. And we will bring this to a boil first. Mix it all up.
So you're going to bring it to a boil and then you're going to put a cover on it. You can get away with just simmering it for about an hour, but we prefer about an hour and a half to really let those flavors mesh together and soften up the kidney.
Overview of this very bumpin' nose to tail feast. So let's see what's on each of these platters.
So we have that beef brisket, looking
Beautiful.
nice with that crust on it.
A fat cap. And we've got some sweetbread and egg quiche. This recipe will be in the cookbook that we are coming out with Paul Saladino. Should be coming out spring 2020.
For extra protein, we just have some cast iron seared round steak.
And we've got a large plate of raw beef suet, since we consume a lot of fat in our diet.
Side the fat. And then we have that simple kidney stew that we showed today on this video.
So this bumpin' nose to tail feast is going to be our OMAD today. So just one meal, no platter one earlier.
Yeah, on our nose to tail feast days, we usually do OMAD, so that's probably 1 or 2 OMADs a week.
Yeah.
Just by preference. So that's all we're gonna share in this video. So we're gonna wrap it up, eat this meal, go on a post-meal digestion walk, and then head to bed. That is a bumpin' day for us.
So we'll check in with you guys tomorrow, but until then, behave like an angel.